Hello everyone, Jim Rose here from Computer Training Source out here in Pleasanton, California. The next video, I want to share with you the Vlookup function in conjunction with what's called the columns function. It's a great little tool that a lot of people don't know about, and it can save you a lot of time when you're looking for full records of information. As an example, if you look here on the screen, we have this list, and we have a list of all of our sales reps and what they sold for the first 5 months of the year. We want to come over here and look up each of the sales reps' information, and we want to just pick their name from the list and have it automatically fill in the information over here for, let's say, a report or just looking up those values. So then from there, with the VLOOKUP itself, normally we'll just do one cell. So if I were to come over here and choose James, then it would typically put in that value for January. So it would come down here, it'd look at this number and throw it up here for us. But if you use the columns function, then this allows you to actually pull out entire records. So in this case, we're only going to do five cells, but you can pull out 1,000 cells if you wanted to. So we're going to get to it right now. And actually, right before we do it, I want to point out really quick that this range has been named. So for example, if I come over here to the drop down, and it's been called grade table. So we'll take it through and we'll utilize that in our function as well. So first what we're going to do is come over here to cell B3, and I'm going to share a couple little tricks with you as well on this. I'm going to type in equal VL, short for VLOOKUP, and then VLOOKUP is in blue, so I'm going to go and hit the tab key, and tab will throw the rest of it in for us, called autocomplete. Then another nice little trick with this, instead of having to type everything out, you can actually get to the dialog box, and instead of having to grab the mouse and click on FX, we can do Shift F3 on your keyboard, and that's just like grabbing the mouse and clicking on FX. So that was Shift F3 to get us in here. Then we have 4 different fields that we're going to go and utilize, and the first one is basically saying, well, where's your lookup information? In this case, where are your sales reps? So we're going to come over here and click on A3. Now, later on, I'll explain more detail coming up in a moment, but we have to lock the column in place by typing in a $sign. So we're going to make that column an absolute reference, and I'll explain why a little bit later on. The table array is essentially the table that I mentioned down here, and as I mentioned earlier, it was named. It's already been named. So if I forget the name, I can always hit F3 on my keyboard right now, and then F3 gives me a list of all my range names. I'm going to double click on grade table. That'll throw it in for us. You can also just click and drag if you prefer. And then the column index number, normally you type in a 2 or a 3 to pull up that particular column or that cell. But we are going to go ahead and actually use the columns number so it counts for us automatically. So I'm going to type in the word columns, the function columns. Make sure it's with an S, because if you use one, there's another function called column, and that doesn't work here. And then we're going to do the open parenthesis, and I'm going to type in the $sign to lock that in place, and then A3 through B3. I'm going to throw in a closed parenthesis to close that out. So that's called a nested function, function within a function. And if you notice, right over here, it puts the number 2 for us because it just counted 2 cells. So later on, when we come over here and we drag this out to February and March and April and May, it's just going to count 3, 4, 5, starting from column A. So that's why we lock column A in place. And then we want to do an exact match. So we're going to come down here and type in a 0. We're going to click OK. All right, so right over here, it looked in the list, came down, found me, so found the name James, went over to the second column in this list, and then pulled out that value. Now, there's the benefit right here. So now we can come over here, go to the little fill handle, and click and drag it across, and that counts for us automatically. Now, we can look up the entire records for all the sales reps, and to test it out, I'm going to go to the drop down, I'm going to click on Delaney, and throws all the information in. So very, very cool option. I love it. Underutilized, but hopefully you guys can use it as well.